All right, ladies and gentlemen. All right, ladies and gentlemen. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Totally Disgusted. I'm your host, Derek Andre, and you're watching Who is Derek Andre TV on YouTube. And if you're new to the channel, I would like to invite you to go ahead and subscribe and click that reminder bell so that you never ever have to miss another video. I'd like to also formally apologize for the squeakiness of my office chair. I apologize. I had to get some oil on it. I don't have any oil right now, but if I get some oil, I'll put some oil on my squeaky office chair. All right. If you are not a subscriber, please subscribe. And I would also like to invite you to click that reminder bell so that you never ever have to miss another one of these really dope videos. All right. So, having said that, let's get into today's topic. So today, I'd like to talk about something that I saw on, I think it was Instagram or TikTok, one of the two. I think it was Instagram. There was a young lady sitting in a car. She was riding with her boyfriend. I'm assuming it was her boyfriend. She was riding with her significant other. And he was, talking to her about about public displays of affection, and she was basically talking about the things that she does not like in regards to public displays of affection. And she was running down this list of all of these different things, and he felt like he was being violated. He felt devastated. He was like, "Are you serious? You don't want me to do these things to you in public anymore?" So apparently he was doing things like maybe, touching her, on her bosom, touching her butt, stuff like that, Things that, couples do, maybe not necessarily out in public, but couples do those things. And so she was basically saying that, he couldn't do them anymore. Now, I think part of it was probably a skit, but it begs the question, are public displays of affection, are they cool, or are they symptoms of an underlying condition? You know what I'm saying? Do public displays of affection, do they say, "Oh my God, this couple is so in love, they're awesome, it is so amazing to see them just loving on each other"? Or does it say, "Yes, somebody's real insecure with their relationship"? You know what I mean? Do you think that grabbing on someone in public, now it could be your husband, it could be your wife, it could be whatever, but do you think that fondling them in a public place, at the mall, at the grocery store, walking down a busy street, stuff like that, do you think that it is appropriate to do that? I think holding hands, and this is just my opinion, I think holding hands is cool when you're out in public. I think a hug is cool when you're out in public. But I think anything beyond that is very obvious, any groping, any butt touching and all that kind, I think that is a little bit too much. Because what are you doing it for? You know what I mean? What's your purpose of doing that? Because if you're with your significant other, you know that he know you're a couple. You are a couple. You are with your significant other. So is that just signaling to passerbyers that this is mine? Don't touch it. He or she belongs to me. Is that cool or not, man? I mean, I don't feel the need to have to do that. I've never been that kind of a person to feel the need to have to be out holding on or grabbing on to the woman that I'm with, my wife or whatever. Never did I feel that. It kind of puts me in the mind, I don't know how old you are, all right, but it kind of puts me into the mind of when people were teenagers, when we were teenagers. There used to be this thing that guys and girls would do to each other's necks. They'd give each other hickeys. The hickey was a sure sign that you belonged to someone else. There was no question about it. If you're out and about and you see somebody and you standing behind them at the grocery store, or and you see a big purple hickey on their neck, you know what time it is. You know that person belongs to somebody else. Okay? Now, they may not even be with another person. They may be by themselves. But the moment you see that hickey, or a passion mark, as some would call it, you automatically know that person belongs to someone else. So, I can not say that I totally and fully agree with that now that I'm older, because I have been a hickey giver and I have been given hickeys. Okay. So I can say I've done that, but I can't say that it made sense. I can almost, though, to be totally honest with you, though, I can almost understand that maybe more so than actually being in person with the other person, being out with the other person. If you're by yourself and you feeling a little insecure, whatever the case may be, and you want the world to know that this person has a significant other, has a boyfriend or whatever, a girlfriend or whatever, and you just want to mark them up real good, okay, all right, I can get that. But if you and this person are out together, y'all are out together, what is the point of public displays of affection beyond maybe holding hands, beyond maybe the arm around? What is the point of grabbing their rear end? You know what I mean? Or touching their private. What is the point of that? What are you proving to anybody? I just think that's doing too much. I don't understand the purpose of it, There used to be a thing, too, back in the day. I don't know if they might still do it now, where if you, and it used to happen to guys a lot, and I'm speaking from experience here. Girls, if you and your girlfriend or whatever had been intimate, and, I guess you was putting it down or whatever the case may be, however you want to word it, they would scratch your back. I mean, like, I had some whelps on my back. Looked like I was back in slavery times. I had some whelps on my back from different girls that I was dated throughout my youth. To basically, because if your back scratched up, how you gonna cheat? How in the world are you going to cheat? How you gonna cheat? You can't take your clothes off in front of another woman and you look like you've been attacked by a tiger. How you gonna cheat? Okay? So certain things I'm not necessarily condoning, but I can understand them a little more readily than I can public displays of affection beyond holding a hand, beyond giving a hug or putting the arm around somebody. So I don't know. So I thought I would look. I said, okay, let me do a little research, because I know that in America, okay, that is, it's commonplace. People do it all the time. But I wondered what places on this planet were not fans of public displays of affection. And so here's what I found out. All right. So apparently there are 9 destinations. 9 destinations where it is illegal or taboo. Damn, illegal. That's strong. Illegal or taboo to get caught kissing in public. Kissing in public. Let's run through the list, all right? So, number one on the list, and I don't think they're in order of any for any particular way or reason, but number one on the list is Dubai. Now, I've already heard that Dubai was really, really strict on public displays of affection. Okay? I've heard that, from people that have gone to visit. My wife and I were looking at it because we're thinking about at some point in the near future, maybe taking a trip to Dubai. And so, you try to go, when you go to another country, you try to figure out what things you can and can't do to keep yourself out of trouble. Okay? And so we wanted to do a little research, but I knew Dubai. Okay? But some of these other places I didn't know. All right? So like China. It says, according to Chinese custom, public displays of affection are not the norm and are generally considered taboo. So I didn't know that about China. The University of Zimbabwe. Now, I guess it's only at the university. So let's see what it says. It says, at the University of Zimbabwe, students can be expelled for public displays of affection. Specifically, the rules forbid students to be caught in an intimate position, kissing, or having sex in public places. Okay, I mean, I can, okay, kissing, okay, independent. But yeah, if y'all out there getting y'all freak on in public places, yeah, that's pretty much jail time. But I don't know if it's across the entire country of Zimbabwe or if it's just at the university. But it specifically says university, so I'm going to have to assume that as long as you off the campus, you can, do whatever it is that you feel like doing and it won't be a problem. Rural Vietnam, number 4. Rural Vietnam. It says, in spite of recent changes in Vietnamese culture, the society is still on the reserved side when it comes to PDAs. Outside of the main cities of Hanoi and Saigon, amorous liaisons are considered taboo, so behave yourself. So rural Vietnam, watch yourself, all right? Catholic Mass. I went to Catholic school. I can't see a reason why you'd have to be kissing on somebody during Catholic Mass. That don't even make no sense to me. Why you need to be kissing on somebody in Mass? I don't know. Okay. But you can't do it at Catholic Mass, all right? Qatar or Qatar. It depends on, I guess it depends on who you are. You can't do it there. Let me see what happened. Oh, let me see. Wait a minute. It says if you are hoping to do a little hand holding when the clock strikes 12, then you're in luck. This practice became acceptable a few years ago. Kissing Kissing, on the other hand, is out of the question. So you can hold hands, you just can't kiss unless it's between friends and family members of the same gender. All right. So I guess if you see somebody you can give them a hug that's the same gender. You can give them a peck on the cheek or whatever. Okay. But don't get too excited. That's not to say they're particularly tolerant towards homosexuality. All right. So I get that. All right. No worries. All right. India. So let's see what India says. For now, best to keep the PDA on the low. According to Section 294 of the Indian Penal Code, whoever, to the annoyance of others, A, does any obscene act in any public place, or B, sings, recites, or utters any obscene songs, ballad, or word in or near any public place, shall be punished with imprisonment of either description for a term which may extend to 3 months, or with a fine, or with both. Because obscenity is not strictly defined, it is left for interpretation. And if you think that leaves you in the clear, think again. So in India, in India, oh my God, in India, you you can't even hum, sing, snap your fingers to a song that's inappropriate. Wow. That's deep, y'all. That is deep. I didn't know that. I mean, I know that, a lot of these countries have very strict rules and policies, but I didn't know in India, you can't even utter. Sing, it says, sing, recite, or utter any obscene song. So not only can you not be out there hugging and kissing on your boo thing, you can't even sing songs that have lyrics that are risque. Good golly, Miss Molly. All right, number 8. Number 8 says Indonesia. Long walks on the beach at sunset are sure to set the mood, but watch yourself. Holding hands and kissing between people of opposite genders is considered unacceptable in Indonesia. And the last one is Thailand. Thailand is known for its gorgeous beaches, beautiful temples, delicious food, and its sex tourism. But don't be fooled. The country as a whole has conservative beliefs when it comes to PDA, public displays of affection, in public, which is a major no-no. While hand holding is becoming more acceptable in cosmopolitan areas such as Bangkok. So that's kind of funny to me because of the mere fact that in Thailand, has, a bit of a reputation for, its adult industry. You know what I'm saying? And so it's interesting that you can go there and you can, find yourself a partner, but you can't really, show the person that you with no affection while you're out in public. That's interesting. So yeah, if you ever plan on going to any of them 9 countries and you taking your sweetie with you, I strongly recommend that you do not, and I repeat, do not get involved in any public displays of affection, because it could very well get you into a whole heap of trouble. All right, India blew my mind though. I can't even tell no lie, man. India blew my mind. I was not expecting. So when I used to do rideshare, I had a lot of passengers that were from India. Okay, and so I would talk to them, and then I knew that certain languages were for the most part banned or illegal in music. Because I was listening to some songs and stuff. Because I would always try to have like a really eclectic playlist when I had different passengers, in and out of the car. So I would play music from all over the world. And because I had a lot of passengers from India, I would always play music that would rotate in and out that would be from India. And so I was asking a passenger one time who I picked up quite regularly if the music that I was playing was offensive, because a lot of times I didn't understand Hindi or whatever language was being spoken in some of the songs, and he said for the most part it is illegal or banned for musical artists to make and create songs that have strong language in them or inappropriate language. And so I felt pretty comfortable and confident that, okay, what I was listening to, for the most part, there's some Punjabi music that you got to be careful of. But for the most part, the music was clean. And so so to read that in India, though, that if you get caught, man, you could be in a whole world of trouble. So I don't know, man. Y'all let me know what y'all think in the comments, man. Let me know what you think in the comments. Let me know how you feel about public displays of affection. Do you feel like they are cool. Like it's cool to be out with your boo thing, and if you feel like touching them up, you can touch on them, and then it should be cool. Or do you feel like it's a sign of insecurity? You know, because you think about that. Why do you need to be grabbing on some inappropriate person? I've seen it happen, and I'm like, dang. Y'all really gotta get a room, man. Y'all need to go someplace and get a room. Y'all be slobbing each other. Folks be slobbing each other down, kissing and grabbing and fondling and stuff like that. So, maybe I'm getting old and I'm becoming, a prude or something. Maybe that's the case. But I don't know. I think that within boundaries, public displays of affection are okay. I think if you're holding hands and you're giving your mate a hug, okay. If you give them a peck on the cheek, a peck on the lips, okay, that's cool. But when you start slobbing them down, trying to, throw your tongue down their throat, while you, sitting at the bus stop, I don't know how I feel about that. You know what I'm saying? I do think that might be a bit much. Or if you're at the mall and there's, families and kids around and, you grab it all on your wife's booty or whatever, and, that might be doing too much. But y'all let me know what y'all think, man. Y'all let me know what you think in the comments, all right? Just leave me a comment and I'll do my best to respond in a timely manner, all right? So this is Totally Disgusted. I'm your host, Derek Andre. You're watching Who is Derek Andre TV on YouTube. And if you are new to the channel, first of all, thanks for stopping by. But before you leave, be sure to hit that subscribe button and click the reminder bell so you never have to miss another video. I am really doing my best to become more and more, what's the word that I'm looking, consistent in creating content. I have been falling off for years. I just be having stuff to do sometimes, and I don't really be, and I need to do better because I really and truly enjoy doing my YouTube videos, and I enjoy doing my podcast, Totally Disgusted. So I am going to do better about being here and making content for you guys. For a while, I would say this, then I'm going to get off here. I've been trying to figure out how to use some streaming software, because right now, if you're watching me, this is actually live. If you I'm gonna say it's live right now at 2:57 in the afternoon. But if you see it at 10 o'clock tonight, that means it's pre-recorded. But I'd always been trying to figure out how to incorporate this streaming software so that I can create, because when you try to record these videos, if you're trying to record onto like a SD card or a memory card or something like that, then you got to try to transfer it over, and they're big files, especially if you're trying to talk more than 10 to 15 minutes. You start getting in the 20-30 minute range, man, them videos get long, man, and they hard to process. And sometimes I don't be feeling like waiting. My computer was old, so it was doing everything super slow. So this method that I'm using right now, I'm actually streaming it right now at almost 3 o'clock in the afternoon Eastern time in Georgia. So if you happen to catch me while I'm live, feel free to get into the chat. I'd love to talk to you, and see how you're doing. And if you're interested in responding to the topic at hand, which today's topic was public displays of affection, feel free to chime in and let me know your thoughts, and we can go back and forth and we can talk about it. The episodes that I do, because there's so much craziness in the world, the episodes that I do are meant to be lighthearted and fun. I don't plan on doing too many videos where you'll find me railing about society. Don't get me wrong. Just because I don't talk about it does not mean that I don't know about it. But because there's so many other platforms that are giving all of this negativity so much energy, I don't want to be one of those. I want to be kind of a refuge for people to come to when they just want to unwind and just have a good conversation and maybe laugh a little bit and have fun. Because we need a break. Every day, all day, cannot be drama, 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 pain, 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 anger, 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 fight, fight, fight. It cannot be. You have to find some time to be able to unwind and relax and enjoy. And that's the type of content that I will be producing and putting out on my channel. This is what this channel has started as, and it's what this channel will always be. I want to be a place where you can come and get away from all the craziness in the world, because the world is crazy. If there is a topic that I feel is necessary to discuss, I will address it, because the name of this podcast is Totally Disgusted. So if there's something that I think is pertinent to our survival as a people, as a species, then yes, I will definitely address that. But for the most part, I want the content that you find here to be lighthearted, fun, and just stuff that we can have. I want you to feel like you're talking to one of your friends. I want you to feel like we're having a conversation like you would have with one of your favorite cousin or your best friend or whatever. I want it to be something lighthearted so that when you get done with Derek Andre TV, you can be like, whew, that was a relief. That was a break from all the chaos, all the craziness, all the lunacy that's going on around in the world. All right. So thank you guys for tuning in. I appreciate each and every one of you. Be peace, be love, be one. And I will see you in the next video. So I'll probably try to do another live tomorrow around 2 o'clock-ish or so. So if you're on YouTube and you want to be a part of the conversation, then by all means chime in. I got my live chat open. And so if you want to, talk, we can talk. All right. Y'all be good. I love you. Be peace, be love, be one. And I will see you in the next video. Peace.